Hello and welcome to Hexed Encountered. My name's Joe. In this video we will be doing a playthrough or continuing our series of playthroughs on the 1995 SCRAM series in Red, White, and Blue Racin from PLAAY Games. This is race number 6. Race number 6. The Ice Brew 400 at Heart of Carolina Speedway. Here is the track card for the track. This is an intermediate track. It is in North Carolina. You can see the Ice Brew 400 is a 40-turn race. There is no change for escape or repair ratings on this track. It is a 1-mile oval. And if we roll a 12 on the last half of the race, we use problem instead of rare. So let's do a quick recap of our standings. Through the first 5 races, Denny Stoffel is your series leader at the moment. He has 767 points. In second place, season favorite Ernie Maldonado with 733. In third place, Phil Clooney, 713. Fourth place, Lindsey Talby Jr. at 709. And in fifth place, the somewhat surprising Brunson Houston in his 39 car. He has 699 points. Now, as far as race setup, I did that before the race, as I usually do. Amongst the drivers who have backup drivers, all the primary drivers are driving in this race. That means the number 89 will be handled by Guidry Thibodeau. The number 35 will be driven by John Gill. And the number 66 will be handled by Greg Doty. So no Wayne Montana in this race. Basically, I give the backup drivers a 50-50 chance. I use a die roll for each. All three dice were below the threshold for the backups to race, so the primary drivers are going in this race. Now, we had 9 TV drivers. We started with 36. That would be Ruff Thurston over here. He and number 38, Homer Brackett, got into an altercation. They are currently feuding now. They both drew C placements and were on the bubble stack. As was number 87, Jerry Fierro. He had a sponsor event and also drew a placement C. These guys, all as you can see, have no trophy. Ed Swanson, he had a wreck in qualifying and ended up with a placement of D. He does have a trophy, which kept him in the race, but put him on the bubble stack. Number 15, Ringo Ireland. He made a comment on TV, drew a placement C, ended up in the middle group. Number 6, Carol Worthington. He praised his sponsor and drew a placement of C. Number 57 did not make the race. That was Ryder Kaminsky. He did not make the race. He also drew a placement D with suspension issues. Number 13, Dick Exum was on ESPN. He drew a C placement. And the big winner among the TV drivers was Irv Jernigan here in the number 25 car. He drew he had team cohesion for this week, and he drew a placement of A and a performance chip. We had 3 fast drivers, and actually none of them ended up. Well, we had D'Amico here. He's in the third position. We had Everett Davis in the 17. He ended up 9th. And we had Zero Cavazos, who took the top spot in the bottom group. There were 10 slow drivers. Some of them did not make the race. Most of them did not make the race, in fact. And we ended up with the guys with the normal weeks, headed up by Hooks Troyer, who rode his gold trophy into the pole position. So let's get this race going here. And we have a 6 and a 5. So the 6, of course, is a duel, and 5 is the number 5 car in the top group. That is Ernie Maldonado. So he's going to challenge. And he gets a 4, which is good enough. So he actually gets to, Jernigan has to spend his chip, which he will, to maintain his spot there. So that ends turn number 1. We go to turn 2 here. And we get a 4 and a 6. So 4 is the middle group, and 6 is smart. So we're looking for smart drivers in the middle group. We start with Denny Stoffel. He gets a 4-5-2. So the 4 is good. The 5 is Ernie Maldonado, and the 2 on the blue will not work. Dick Exum is smart. He draws a 3, 4, 5, so this would probably work for him. So the 3 is good. The 4 is, of course, Phil Clooney, and the 5, Clooney has 2 breaks plus 1 for smart, so that's only 3. So Exum takes that spot. Then we get Ringo Ireland. He drew a 6, which is too high, so the rest of it does not matter. Next up is Pete Pettis. He has a 3, 6, 3. So he is attempting to take on Kerry Holguin here, who does not have smart, only has 1 break from the break bonus for the top group, so he gets replaced. Next up is Charlie Drake in the 55, gets a 3, right? That's 3, yep, 3, 5, 2. Again, that's Maldonado. That 2 on the blue is not going to work. Next up is Jimmy Cottrell. He has a 4, 6, 4. So he gets 1 plus 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3. So Cottrell is going to take that spot because the blue die is a 4. Then we have Ralph Roach. Ralph Roach has a 3, 4, 5. So he's looking at Exum. He has a 5. So 1, 2, 3. That is good enough. Roach will take that spot. Next up is Carol Worthington. He will be our last contestant here. He has a 1, 1, 6. That is more than good enough to take that spot from Irv Jernigan. So Irv Jernigan's luck did not last all that long as he gets bumped into the middle group on turn 2. We move to turn 3. We get a 3, which is middle group again, and we get a 2, which is a rare event. So rare event in the middle group, we will roll our dice. I don't necessarily need to roll 3, but I do anyway. We got a 14. A 14 is rain threatens event. So when you get a rain threat, you roll 2 dice, add to determine how many turns from the current turn when rain could begin to fall. At the end of that turn and end of each succeeding turn, roll 1 die. If it's a 1 or a 6, then rain stops the event, and the current order is the final race finish if enough laps have been completed. So we are going to roll 2 dice. We'll use our silvers. We get 6. So 6 from turn 3 would be turn 9. So I'm going to put a little tick on turn 9 to remind myself that at the end of that we need to roll a die or start rolling a die at the end of every turn. So we will go to turn 4 in the meantime. We get a 5 rather, and a 4. So 5 is bottom group, and a 4 is heat. So heat in the bottom group, we will start with Jerry Fierro. That's an appropriate name to have heat. He gets a 4, which is above his gas, so that is not going to work. Ed Swanson has heat. He has 5 gas, but he rolls a 6. So he's not going to pass. Yoder has only 3 gas, but he rolls a 1, 6, 3. So the 1 and the 3 means he's looking at Doty, and Doty has heat, but that's still not enough to protect him in this case. So Yoder will jump up into the middle group. Our next contestant with heat is John Gill. He's got a 4, which is below his gas, and a 1 and a 2. So that would be Jernigan, who does not have heat. And so Gill is going to jump up into the middle group as well. Next is, wow, not much heat down here. Lemon Resendez. And he gets a 6, so that's not going to work. And then Fred Shaver is the last one. He also rolls a 6, so he is also not going to do anything here. That ends turn 4. We go to turn 5. And we get a 4, which is middle group, and a 5, which is star. So star in the middle group. Phil Clooney's our first star. 5 is too high. Ringo Ireland gets a 5 as well, which is good for him. 3, 4. So he's looking at Lindsey Talby, who has 2 breaks, but that's not good enough in this instance. He gets bumped. Our next star is Kerry Holguin. He gets a 1, which is good, a 6, and a 2. So Cottrell is a star and has a bonus, so that will not work. We move to Charlie Brake. Brake has a 4, which is good, a 5, which is a 1 rather, which is Carol Worthington, and a 5, which is going to be good enough as well. Next up is Adler Brown. Adler Brown gets a 5, which is too high. Pete Pettis, that was a 6. 5, 6, 5. So the 5 is too high for Pettis. Bobby Paris has got a 4 gas as well, so that's good. He is looking at Cottrell, 3 brake, which is good enough. So Paris will take that spot. Now we have Exum, who's a starred star, so he gets 2 cracks at this. And he'll need it because he rolls a 6 on the first one. And then we get a 3, 2, 2. So 3 is Ireland, and a 2 because he's got a break and a star, and that will not work. And the last is John Gill, and he's got a tow 555. So we have to roll for a problem for him. So we'll roll our 2 silvers here. His rating, he's a B. Oh, wait. We got to do this first. We got to find out what the problem is. It is a 42, which is brake trouble, roll for repair. All right, so now we'll roll for repair. He gets a 9. It is the first third of the race. He is a B. And for problem, first third, a 9 is good. So he's okay, but he has to go to the back. So I will pause and adjust our order. Well, first let's roll to see who moves up. So we'll start with Cavazos. He is a no. And then we'll go with Trimble. He's also a no. Shaver. No. Bronson Houston. No. Well, Brunson Houston, rather. Eddie Rader. No. Lemon Resendez. Yes. So Lemon Resendez is going to move up. All right. Okay, let's resume here. That was turn 5. We go to turn 6. And we get a 4, which is middle group, and a 6, which is smart. So smart in the middle group. Stoffel. 2, 4, 1. So 4, he's smart and has a bonus. That won't work. Clooney. 2, 3, 2. So he's smart and that will not work either. Talby. Nope. Worthington. 5, 5, 6. Nope. Pete Pettis. 2, 4, 6. So that is going to work. Cottrell. 1, 3, 2. Nope. Ringo Ireland is good there. Exum. 5 is good. 6 is Paris. 5 there will also be good. So that is that. And Davis is not smart. That ends turn 6. And we go to our first pit stop. And we get 3 and 5 and 6. Okay, so the 3 means that we're looking at the middle group and we have to swap 5 and 6. So that would be in both groups. Now we roll for fast pit here. So we start with Stoffel, who needs an 8. He's good. Clooney needs a 7. He's also good. That's not going to work for Resendez. Yoder is, he had needed a 5 and got it, so that's a pretty good success right there. He needs a 9, gets a 7. Holgren needs a 6, gets it. Worthington, 7. Look at this, they're all hitting right on the number. Brown needs a 4. Holy mackerel. Really rolling here. Roach needs an 8. Does not get it. Cottrell needs a 10. He gets an 8, so that's good. And Paris needs a 9. Gets an 11. And Everett Davis needs a 7 and gets a 7. All right. I'm going to rearrange these after we roll for the challenge. So let's see who's challenging. It is Ringo Ireland. And he succeeds. So Ringo Ireland takes the top spot coming off the pit. I'm going to rearrange these and then we'll move to turn 8. All right, on to turn number 8. 6 is a duel, and 7 is the Fume Feud. We roll again. So our Feud Fume results are down here at the bottom. We're going to roll. We get a 5, and a 5 is rabbit out plus yellow. So the rabbit would be the one who's ahead, which would be bracket. So bracket is out, and we get a yellow flag, which pushes us to the end of turn 9 and means we have to roll for rain. And we'll roll 1 die. And look at that, we got a 6, which ends the race. Okay, so I have removed bracket from the race and fixed the back of the pack. Now, we're in turn 9, and this is not even close to half the race. Turn 20 is the midpoint. So therefore, the race would not be completed and given a final result. So what we're going to do here is we are going to say that the race was suspended, and we're going to pick it up here with the same situation. We're going to go to turn number 10 here, and we're just going to continue, and I will continue to check for more rain at the end. Well, first let's do this. Let's roll this and see how long the rain is stopped. 8. So I'm going to put another tick at 17, which is our pit stop, and we'll check again there and see if we get a second rain delay. I'm kind of house ruling it a little bit here. So we get a duel and 11, which is the 3 cars in the middle group. So that's these 2 guys. Now everybody has a chip. So ultimately, I guess we can, we'll do this and we'll say Holgren will challenge Davis. So we'll roll for this. And that kind of jumped down there. So that would be successful since they both have a chip. Let's see if they keep it or not. They do. We'll do the same for Colby attacking Cottrell. That is also successful. So again, we will check. And he also keeps it. So no changes. And we go to turn number 11. And we get a 5 and an 8. So 5 is bottom group. 8 is control. So we'll start with John Gill. And we get a 1, 6, 3. So that would be Resendez. And he doesn't have control. And there's no bonus. So now we go to Jerry Fierro. He gets a 3, which is good. And a 4 and a 2. So that would be even here. He's got a chip. He does not have control, so he would spend his chip to keep his spot. Next up is Kenny Jeffers. 5 is good. 4, 3. So that is Clooney again. Did I screw that up and it was actually Yoder? I don't remember now, and I'm not going back. So, oh, actually, yeah, 5, 4, 3. So that's definitely Clooney. And this time he is going to lose his spot. So we'll just do that. And Vic Holder. 4, 2, 3. So that's 2 odd, which is Worthington, who has a chip. And the 3, he's got control starred, plus a break, so that he doesn't even have to spend his chip. And Longo. No, he rolled a 6. Mabry. 2, 4, 1. Well, this probably won't work. Yeah, because it's a tie, so that does not work. Farias. 1, 1, 1. He's got to roll for a problem. And he gets a 66, which is lost engine out of race. So he is out of the race. Sucks to be him. Garnet. 4, 5, 3. So that is odd in the 5, which is 17, and the 3 is 1. He has no break, so that actually works. Now Winslow Weathers gets a 2, 4, 1. So this probably will not work, and it won't, because he has control anyway, so he keeps his chip. Keener, 3, 6, 3. That's Gill. He has only 1, so he will lose his spot. Barb Garvin. 6 is too high. Raider. 2, 2, 5. So that's even here. So that's Brown. He's going to have to spend his chip. And we go to Brunson Houston. No, on a 6. Buck Trimble will be our last guy to attempt it, and he also fails. Go to turn 11. Various is out. I'll realign everybody over here and we'll move on. Okay, we move on to turn number 12. We get a 5, 6. 5, 6. So 5 is bottom group again. 6 is smart. So we'll start with Rough Thurston. And he gets a 4, which is higher than his gas. Then we'll do Ed Swanson, who gets a 4, 5, 6. So that would be Danny Stoffel. He's going to spend his chip. And next up is Phil Clooney. 3, 3, 6. So that would be Holguin. He's going to spend his chip. Next is Jernigan. 4, 5, 5. So that's Garnet. Jernigan moves up. Next one with Smart is Andy McGreevy. 1, 6, 6. That is Ralph Roach. Then we have Billy Schrader. 2, 4, 2. So that would be Yoder. He's got a chip. He'll have to spend it. Brunson Houston. Nope. He rolled a 6. Fred Shaver. 3, 6, 2. That's McGreevy, and that's actually good enough. Shaver actually gets out of the bottom group. Now we've got Buck Trimble. He's the last guy to have Smart in that group, and he does not pass the gas check. All right, turn 13. 4 is middle group, and 12 is rare. And we're not in the second half of the race, so it's not a problem. It is rare indeed. So let's roll and see what we get. We get a 21 in the bottom group. No, middle group, right? Yeah, middle group. Middle group. 21 is Surge. Driver moves to top group. Okay, so we have to roll to see who this is. So we're going to roll first in the middle group to find out which driver. It is a 5 and odd. So that is Jernigan. Now we need to find out who he's taking their spot. I guess we could use the blue, which was a 1. So we'll just do that. That is the end of turn 13. We go to turn 14. 3 is middle group and 10 is trouble. All right, well, this is going to be fun. I'm going to start here. So he has an escape rating of 6. Rolls a 2, so he's good. Cottrell has an escape rating of 9. He's good as well. Brown is 6. He is collected. Worthington's a 9. He is good. Holguin's a 7. He's good. Colby's a 9. He's good. Yoder's a 6. Good. Jeffers is a 7. Good. Stoffel's a 10. Good. Charlie Breaks a 9. He's collected. Shaver's an 8. And Keener is a 7. And he is also collected. So we have 3 cars collected. Now we have to check them. So Brown is a C. We are in the middle third. So he needs a 7 or less. And he does not get it. So Brown is out. Then we check Brake. He's a B as well. So he also needs a... He needs an... not as well. He's a B. So he needs an 8 or less. And he gets a 7. So he's okay. But he'll go to the back. And then Keener, he's also a C, so he needed a 7 and got a 6. So he's okay as well, but also goes to the back. All right, so we're going to have 2 yellow turns, which will bring us to turn 16. Actually, it brings us to 17. So we're going to have our pit stop here. So I'm going to rearrange this, move everybody up, and we'll resume here in a moment with our pit stop. Okay, on to the pit stop. We get middle group and the 3 and 4. So we're going to swap these guys. And we're going to check the middle group for fast pit. So McGreevy needs a 5. Does not get it. Trimble needs a 7. Does not get it. Cavazos needs a 3. Does not get it. Shaver needs a 7. Does get it. So that's going to help him maybe. Yoder needs a 5. Gets it. Talby needs a 9. Gets a second chip. Stoffel needs a 10. Gets it. Jeffers needs a 4. Does not get it. Holder needs a 6. Gets it. Worthington needs a 7. Gets it. Cottrell needs a 10. Gets it. And Davis needs a 7 and gets it. All right, now let's see who challenges. It is Irv Jernigan. He gets a 5, which does not work. So Ireland maintains his lead off the pit road. Let's go on to checking for our rain out. And it's a 2, so we're good. So we'll check again next turn. In the meantime, we move on. 2 is top group and 3 is TV. So we have 2, Exum and Jernigan. And that is not good for Exum. And Jernigan, 141, so that is also not going to work. So that is turn 18. And we'll check again for rain. And we get a rain again. So we still have not completed half the race, so we're going to have another rain delay here in turn 18. And now we'll check to see how long this, how much, we'll get 2, and we get 8. So the next check will be at turn 27. And we're going to pick this up with turn 19 after a second rain delay. And we get a 4, which is middle, and 7, which is skill. Skill in the middle group. First one is 0 Cavazos. That is a no. Then we have Shaver, who has a chip. And he gets a 5, so he's going to spend his chip. 552. So he's going to spend his chip to take Exum's spot. Next is Yoder. 1, 3, 4. Yeah, skill. That's 2, 3. That's not enough. Yoder's going to take it and keep his chip. Then we have Talby, who has 2 chips. And he gets a 3, 4, 2. He's got control and 2 brakes and a bonus, but Talby will spend 1 of his chips. And Hooks Troyer, who sat on the pole at the start, is going to drop into the 13th spot. Then Stoffel has starred skill. He gets a 4-4-5. So he's going to make Talby spend his chip. Because he doesn't need to spend his. And he's going to try again. And he gets a 3-5-4. So that's Shaver, so he will take that spot without spending his chip. Now we go to Holguin. 1-6-3. Well, he's got control and 2 breaks, and the bonus. Maldonado is tough, but Holguin has a chip, so he's going to do it. Worthington has 2 chips, does not have skill though. No skill. And Davis with 2 chips gets a 3-2-6. That is definitely going to be good enough without spending his chip. And that is that. That is turn 19. Go to turn 20. We get a 3 and a 7. So middle and skill again. This time 4 for Cavazos is no. Exum 1-1-6. So that will work. And Pettis gets triple ones. That is a problem check. 44 is oil pressure problem, roll for repair. Okay, he's an A. Still in the middle third, so he needs a 9 or less. And he gets a 10. So Pettis is out of the race. And we move on to check skill for Hooks Troyer. Rolled a 6. That is not going to get it done. Shaver. 1, 2, 3. Davis will have to spend a chip. Shaver does not move up. Maldonado. 3, 2, 5. So again, he's going to spend his chip. Davis no longer has any chips. Worthington does not have skill. Neither does Cottrell. D'Amico. 1, 4, 4. That will work. Neither of these guys has a chip. So now we fill in. And we have to roll for the open spot. We'll start with Brunson Houston. He needs a 3 or less. And he gets it. All right. All right. On to turn 21. Bottom group 8 is control. All right. Control in the bottom group. Start with Matt Keener. He gets a 5 too high. Next up is Fierro. He gets a 3, so that's good. 2-2. That would be Worthington. He has control and a break, so that's not going to work. Swanson gets a 4, 5, 3. So that is Trimble. That will work. Swanson jumps up. And we go to Garnay. Needs a 4, gets a 6. Holder needs a 4, gets a 5. Longo needs a 5, gets a 3, 1, 5. That would be Cottrell, so he's going to spend a chip. Then we go to Karen Mabry, gets a 2, 6, 3. That's Houston, and that works. Bobby Harris gets a 5, too high. Winslow Weathers needs a 3, gets a 6, 2, 6. John Gill needs a 5, gets a 1, 1, 2. Yeah, that's not going to work. Barb Garvin, 2, 3, 3. That's Troyer. He's got control and 2 breaks, so that does not work. And Raider. 1, 3, 5. So that is Troyer again. He's got control and 2, but that's not good enough. So he's going to drop into the bottom group. All right, that's turn 21. On to 22. 4. middle group, and 8 is control. And first with control is Mabry. She rolls a 6-6-4, so that's nothing. Next is Swanson. 4-2-2. He's got 1 plus the break bonus gives him 2, so that's not going to work. Jeffers. 1-5-1, so that will not work either. Raider has a 3. Nope. And Maldonado. 5-6-3. Control plus 1 is only 2, so he gets back into the top group. Worthington. 2-2-3. That's here. So he is going to take that spot and keep both chips as well. He's in a good spot if we can pull the top group here so he can challenge the lead. Cottrell. 4-6-5. Well, that might actually do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. That actually does do it, and he doesn't have to spend his chip. And then Talby. Whoops. 3-6-1, so that's not going to do it. So that ends 22. We go to 23. We get a duel, and it's 8, and 8 is the number 6 cars in the middle group, so that's these two right here. And so McGreevy will challenge Dave, will challenge Talby. He gets a 5, so that's a fail, so we'll have to check him for trouble. Mabry will challenge Maldonado. And she also fails and has to check for trouble. Alright, so his escape is a 5, McGreevy. He gets a 7. So he is collected, and Mabry's is a 7. And she gets an 11. They're both collected. So we are going to have two yellow flags here. Now he's a B. We are now in the, we're in turn 23 of 40. So we're still in the middle. And with a B, he needs a 8 and gets it. So McGreevy's staying in the race. Now Mabry's an A, so she only needs a 9 or less. She's also good. But we do get 2 yellow turns, so that's going to push us all the way through the end of 25, and we'll go to 26. These two will move up. Let me rejigger things, and then we'll move on. Okay, turn 26. Bottom group 5. 5 in the bottom group is star. So I'm going to start with Andy McGreevy. 1-4-3. So that would be Jeffers, and that is going to work. So McGreevy's stay at the bottom was not all that long. Keener is next. 2-6-3. That would be Garvin. So Keener moves up. Then we got Charlie Brake. No, for him, he rolled a 6. Resendez. 3-6-5. So that would be Keener. So he's going right back. He did pick up a couple spots. Next star is Greg Doty. 3-5-4. So 3-5-4 would be Cavazos. And next is Phil Clooney. Gets a 2-1-2. That's here. He's not a star, but he actually that works. That works for Phil Clooney. So Lindsay Talby drops all the way to the bottom group. Next star is Ralph Roach. 4-5-2. So the 4 is good. The 5, the 2 is Doty, and that works. Next star is Vic Holder. 116. So that is Maldonado, and the 6 is actually good enough. So holy mackerel, Ernie Maldonado in the bottom group. Next up is Orlando Longo. He gets a 5, which is good, and a 3-3. So that is Raider. And then we have Bobby Paris and John Gill. No for Paris. 216. So that would be 216 would be Phil Clooney. So yeah, that's gonna do it. Gill gets to move up. And that is the end of turn 26, and we go to our third pit stop turn, and we have to check for rain again after this. So 1 is top group and leader, I believe. Yep, top group and leader, and we swap 2 and 5. Now we check the top group and the leader for fast pit. Cottrell needs a 10 or less. He gets it. 2 chips for him. Worthington needs a 7 or less. Oh my goodness, he's got 3 chips now. D'Amico 8 or less. He gets an 8. Yoder 5 or less. No. Stoffel, let me move that up so I remember. He gets an 8. He's good. Dick Exum gets a 7. That is good as well. And Ringo Ireland, will he keep his lead? He needs a 7 or less and gets a 7. So yes, he does. So Yoder will move down. Everybody else will move up. Worthington's got a stack like crazy here with 3. And that is that. Nothing else moves. Let's see who challenges. Yoder, everybody has a chip here. And it's successful. Now let's see if they keep their chips. They do not. So they both lose their chips. But nothing else happens. Now we need to roll for rain, 1 or a 6. It is a 5. All right, here we go. 28. Top group 5. Star. We'll start with Cottrell. And he gets a 6, so he's going to use his chip. And he's going to take the lead, momentarily most likely. And we go to Worthington, who has 3 chips. And he gets a 3 and a 5. So we're going to say he's going to spend his, and he's going to spend his. Because he only has 1 and he has 3. And I think he has to spend 2 chips, but he's going to take the lead. I think that's right. No. And the last one is Exum, who's double star. Ooh, that was almost bad. Let's see if they both keep or lose their chips. They both lose their chips. And now he gets to challenge for the lead. And he gets a 5-1-6. That is going to work. So Exum takes the lead here. Okay. Now we'll check again for rain. And it's a 6. And that is the end of the race, because we have gone far enough that it is over halfway. So that wraps it up. We have a rain-shortened race here. Dick Exum is your winner. Carol Worthington in the number 6 Ford, he's second. Denny Stoffel in the number 4 Pontiac finishes third. Mark D'Amico, number 3 Dodge, is fourth. Jimmy Cottrell, number 28. He is fifth. Number 6, Ringo Ireland in the Chevy. Number 7, 14, Chris Yoder, also a Chevy. Finishing 8th is the number 35 with John Gill in a Chevy. 9th is Vic Holder, the number 5 Dodge. And 10th, rounding out the top 10, is Ralph Olds in the number 73 Oldsmobile, or Ralph Roach. Did I call him Ralph Olds? He's Ralph Roach. That is going to do it. Other notables, series leader Denny Stoffel. He finished third, so that will help him, of course. Ernie Maldonado, who was second in the standings, is 25th. Bill Clooney also, he was third. He finishes, where is he? I think he's down here. Yeah, he's here. He's 20th. Lindsey Talby Jr., he also is in the bottom group, finishing 30th. So there's going to maybe be some changes here. And then Brunson Houston, of course, he's 23rd. So the guys who were at the top at the beginning are probably going to drop a little bit. And Denny Stoffel is going to open up his lead a little on Ernie Maldonado, I would think, based on finishing third. But that is going to do it. As always, thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, etc. Yeah, so until next time, the next race will be the Biddy Beer 500 at Southern Super Speedway. So that'll be a fun one to do. That'll be coming up in a week or so. But yeah, until then, I'm Joe. This is Hexton Countered Sports Edition. And until next time, happy gaming.